Hello and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to talk about the last one, well not the last one, but the second to last game that I need for the Battle of the American Revolutions. This one is Rhode Island from August 29th, 1778. And this is volume 9 of the Battles of the American Revolution. So you've probably seen all my other box openings. I really enjoy the American Revolution. I think these games are really somewhat easy to get into, and they have historical aspects, so I'm looking forward to this one. This is the latest one out there. I actually was able to buy this one from GMT, which is a GMT game. All the other ones I've been buying offline used, so some of them were new, but they were previously owned. This particular game has a bonus game in it. It's the Battle of Newport, a hypothetical scenario featuring a French and American assault on the British defensive works surrounding the town. So you have a bonus game here that didn't happen, but we're going to make it happen. This comes in a 2-inch box. It's one of their later boxes, their heavy-duty box. On the back here, you can see that it has cards that are played. Here's the map here, and a lot of water on these maps, more so than most of the other ones outside of maybe Pensacola. And Savannah looks like it has some water, but that's the one that I'm missing here so far. It might have ended the war 5 years sooner. The loss of the British Army at Saratoga in 1777 was the predicate to French intervention. So this talks a little bit about the history of this battle. It looks like the size of the combined armies approached 16,000 men or more. That doubled the force of the available of the British garrison at Newport. So apparently there was a large amount of men there. And it talks a little bit more about the history. I'm not going to read all of that. I mean, you know, I could, but I think you really want to look inside the game. I know I do. The game content. Now, this box was heavier than the others. And I was kind of amazed at that, but when I looked on the back here, I see that there's one two-sided mounted map board, Rhode Island Newport battles, and one bonus two-sided map board. So we have one that's a paper map board, I'm assuming, and one that's mounted, so that's kind of cool. Full-size counter sheet, one half-size counter sheet, exclusive and series rule books, 2-player aid card, 16 tactical cards, 52 opportunity cards, and 2 10-sided dice. The game turn is 1 hour per turn. Unit size is regiment. Players 1 to 2. Map is 200 yards per hex. So the game designer is Mark Miklas, and he's designed all of these games. Let's see. Down here we have the complexity is 6, which is about standard for these games. Solitaire suitability is 4. So that's typical when you have any cards involved. So let's open it up. Let's take a look at it. Nice thick box. Love the new boxes they have, you know, as far as thickness of the box. Let me get this around so that it's correct for you. There you are. Okay, so the Battle of Rhode Island and Newport exclusive rulebook. You have the American Revolution has its own rule book, which goes across all of the games, all the 10 games that you have out there, or 9 available so far. I think 10 is the latest, is the next one. Introduction, components, game terminology, how to win, sequence of play, initiative, stacking, zone of control, movement, rifle fire, defensive artillery, close combat, combat results, leaders, the rally phase and unit morale, Army morale, credits, and example sequence of play. I always love those. So credits starts at 14. So it looks like there's 14 pages of the American Revolutionary War rules, and you've probably seen me go through this before on the other ones if you watched the other ones. So we'll just skip on through here. Let me actually move this out of the way and get this down here where a little bit easier to undo here. So this one is all in color, and again, this is January 2020. So if you want to get the latest edition, you can look online at GMT's website, and you'll be able to find the actual latest version, and all the erratica is done in the one that's online. I'm sure this has some that were done from the beginning. And here's the rally phase, morale, expanded sequence of play here. So that's going to guide us through the moves on each side. And that's the American Revolutionary. And then here's the Rhode Island and Newport exclusive rulebooks. So counter sheet notes for volume 9, and then prepare for play, how to win, series rule variations, special rules, and special units. So that's all for Rhode Island there. Newport, preparation for play, how to win, series rules, speed rules, special units, historical summary. So this goes from 7 to 12. This one goes from 2 to 6, it looks like. So not much in the way of series rules here. Now, I kind of like this. I like having a base set of rules that apply to all of them, because once you learn this, you know that applies to all of them. And then, of course, each different game is going to have its own series or exclusive rules. And I think that's a good thing. I don't think that's a bad thing. Some people don't like having 2 rules. They want to have all of them in one. But I kind of like not having to always reread the other rules and just see what the exclusive rules are. Now, sometimes it does get hard, you know, remembering which ones go with which game. But, you know, that's part of it. Counter sheet notes for volume 9. So it gives notes on the different counters and what they mean and what they could go. And here's Pensacola. So these are actually some replacement units here. And in the tri-pack, I got all the replacements for all the games. So I think those are the most up-to-date. But if you don't have that, this will update all of the games before. Preparation to play, how to win, series rule. I like how they start to bold all of these. They make it very distinct. Special rules, special units. So that way you know what you're reading, what the highlight of each paragraph. Then we go to Newport rules over on this side here, and here are all the rules, special rules for the Newport battle. And again, this is a what if scenario. Special units. So some of the units have special maneuvers and special things that you haven't covered before in other games. They will all be here. And then we talk about the historical fact of the Battle of Rhode Island. And Mark Mikolos, I like reading all these. He gives a really good, easy to read, sort of, I don't want to say battle report, but historical look at the game that he just designed. And very enjoyable. And it gets me interested in looking up more and more about these battles. And on the back here we have a sequence of play. Here's for Rhode Island. Newport, Rhode Island seems to be a much shorter sequence of play. Next we have the player aid cards, and 2 identical in full color, so that makes it kind of easy, especially when you're looking at columns. But a terrain effects chart here. Night interphase movement allowance, so there's some night here. Leader summary. Victory point schedule. Let's look on the front here, what I went by rather quick. Close combat. Range fire to hit table, artillery fire damage table, tactical matrix, close combat table, combat results, explanation there. And I do like the way that the combat table works in this particular game here. Artillery characteristic matrix, so we have a bunch of different artilleries here. Artillery max range summary, so you can see all the different types of artillery and how their ranges are affected by the type of artillery that you're shooting. Siege fire damage, siege bombardment to hit table, and mortar fire. So that's cool, the mortars are in this. A misfire table. That's something that needed to be addressed. So there are the player cards, player aid cards. Next we have our unit counters, and I found this kind of strange, but the Battle of Rhode Island, which is the main game, has smaller set of counters than the Battle of Newport. The Battle of Newport encompasses all these counters. Battle of Rhode Island is just these. So the bonus game actually gives you more. But I guess it is an extension of this one, so that's probably why there's more. But we have the front side and the back side, and you can see that we have some two-step units, single-step units there. And same here, we have two-step units, some two-step units, and single-step units on the back. And of course we have our momentum chip, which everybody loves getting because that can change what's happening at any point. It's always nice to have a free dice roll. So there are your counters. We have our dice, British and American. And then we have our tactical cards, British and American and British. And then on the other side, we have our opportunity cards. So they take up most of that deck. The tactical cards probably go to about here. So these are what makes this such a low rating or lower rating for solitaire, because you have these cards that can be played. But I'm sure you could play them in solitaire. It's just maybe not as dramatic as when you don't know what they are. So those are the tactical and opportunity cards and die. And now here's the cool part. A mounted map included with the game and a paper map, so that whichever one you like, you have, and you don't have to buy extra. So I love that. I'm going to keep this in the plastic bag, and we'll go ahead and unfold the paper map and take a look at that. Okay, so here is our Rhode Island map, the Battle of Rhode Island, August 29, 1778. And water on both sides, which is really a lot of water in this game, not more than other games. At the top here, we have, if you can see that right there, we have our terrain key. We have captured and eliminated there. We also have over this side the Army morale track there. And then we have opportunity card casualty track. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays in the game. And then we have game turn track down here. And it talks about British and American relief coming on here. Leadership loss, opportunity units there. And so the map looks like it starts from this side, A1, A3, comes on through, and then B3, and then no starting movement on the turn of entry. So apparently one side's coming this way, the other side's coming this way. I'm going to say British over there, but I'm not sure. And then on the back side, this is a two-sided map. Here's the Battle of Newport, August 10th, 1778. So this is the next day. And continuing from the back side of this map, you see that this side here, we have these roads, and they match up perfectly with the other side of the map here, right here. And so units come in, we still have some water. We got some water over in this area here. We have our terrain key down there. And then all of our informational boxes are down here. American French infantry strength point loss track here. Then we have the morale here. French morale impact table right there. And then we have the game turn track. And this game goes up to 20 turns. So that seems like that's a lot longer than the Rhode Island one. Let's see. The Rhode Island, well, the Rhode Island is 13. And then night. And then here's the night interface here. Bog transition table. Make sure you can see that there. Captured, eliminated table, and night interface movement. So again, both these maps are really well done. And again, you have that, and you have the same thing, a two-sided map here, mounted of the same thing. So whichever one you like to play, you can have at it. I will most likely play this one underneath my plexiglass because that's what I'm used to doing. And it seems to put everything down flat, which I do like. But if I were to go play at somebody's house or you know, at some event, I'd probably take the mounted maps and play on them. So that's our map. All right, so I don't think I showed you this, but this is the little cardboard insert in the bottom, which of course that's going to go as soon as I start punching out the counters and putting them in a tray. And we have the cards, the dice, the maps going back in there, both sets of maps there. Our counters, player aid cards, and rule books all in there. So that, my friends, is the American Revolutionary War, the Rhode Island chapter here. And again, the only one that I'm missing now, if you watch along, is I got to find Savannah someplace. And that's my next effort to complete this set, is to find me the Savannah at a reasonable price. Anyway, if you like this, please do subscribe. Thanks for watching so far, and I hope you're around for the next one.